Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm joined by the very special Mr. MAAL here. He's going to be, our very special guest interview. He's a member of our Dive live stream group where at patreon.com, jsong_7, we go over market data and creating price maps on price and understanding price behavior and different technical analysis. Mr. MAAL is one of the most intelligent men I have ever met. He seemed to have a good grip, understanding of a lot of different topics. But today he specially requested to have this interview with us to specifically speak about RDD, which is going to be Redcoin. He has a lot of information for us that he's been wanting to share, and we often after class every night, we have classes every night, going over the live stream performance and market performance. But after class, Mr. MAAL is always the person we love to pick his brain because he's a really smart guy, and God bless him for that. And so anyway, we're going to be having him on the show today, and he's going to be blessing us because we're also opening up this as a Zoom meeting. Mr. MAAL is going to be able to speak to us about questions that people are going to have in the live performance. Great. So at this time, we'll just open it up with a prayer, and then we'll turn the floor over to you, yeah, and then we'll be getting questions that people are gonna have in the chat. So while Mr. MAAL is giving his presentation that he's prepared, we'll also accept all the questions in the chat, and then you guys can also mute if you have a question you want to ask specifically. Okay. So with that said, let's say a prayer. Lord Jesus, we thank you for this day, and thank you for blessing us with Mr. MAAL and his availability, and blessing for his sharing his knowledge with us. Lord, I pray that you continue to minister to him and give him much information and much knowledge about the various things for the cryptocurrencies and different things that's going on around the world. He's just a great friend to us, Lord, and I'm grateful for him. Bless him, bless his family, and bless this interview. Let your spirit be upon us, and we love you. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Also,
Amen.
guys, bear in mind, everything in this video is not financial, investment, or trading advice of any kind, okay? Everything is just for entertainment, educational, and comedic purposes only. That goes for me and Mr. MAAL. All right. All right, Mr. MAAL, you still there, sir?
Yes. How's it going?
Doing really well. Thank you very much for joining us here on the show.
Thank you, sir. Certainly appreciate your time. I most certainly appreciate the opportunity to be hosted by you. This is my honor, I should say, to be able to be before you and your audience. So my hope is that you all can use me by asking any and all questions of me relative to Redcoin. And if there's other things that we could, if there's other things that come up in the course of our conversation, I'll try to do my best to respond accordingly.
Wonderful. And we'll be respectful of Mr. MAAL's time. And this video is also going to go up on YouTube after it's recording. So wonderful. And we're grateful for everybody. Welcome, Lisa, April, Leonholo, man. Superfood, it's always good to have you. And Jay, welcome everybody. And everyone else who's just joining in the video. Okay, so did you want to start with your presentation on your screen? When you do go into screen sharing mode, it does freeze your video a little bit. So I'll let you know that, okay? So just let me know how you want to proceed.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. All right. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mr. MAAL. I am honored to be here amongst you all. Thank you, JSong, for taking the opportunity to host me and our wonderful guest. It's my hope to be able to put those of you who are here on the same page with regards to what Redcoin is and its use case, among several other things. By the end of today's conversation, my hope is that any questions that you've entered into this time, into the space with, that you feel like you've been given an adequate response. And if there's anything that I was not able to answer, I'll make a point to get back to you at my earliest convenience. Let's proceed. So, Redcoin. Redcoin is a digital currency, or what some people call a cryptocurrency. Now, on today's agenda, we're going to be discussing some of the following line items, such as what is Redcoin, which is also known as RDD. Then we'll be proceeding to the history of Redcoin. Afterwards, we'll be talking about how Redcoin is used in terms of use case, followed by where can it be acquired. Then we'll be discussing how you can store it and how to create a sell and buy order. All right, so just as a general practice, everything I'm about to share is simply my opinion. An analysis of the digital coin called Redcoin, also known as RDD, is important for you to know that you should do your own research to determine whether acquiring, that is buying, hodling, or selling, is appropriate for you. None of the feedback is financial advice, so please seek a financial advisor for further guidance. What is Redcoin, also known as RDD? One of my One of my colleagues here in the deep dive group by Jay Song talked about Redcoin being a social currency. He was spot on. Redcoin is a social currency, much like the currency that you might find in your pocket, whether it's a dollar bill, the lira, or the franc or the yuan, except it's a digital currency. It's a digital currency with well over 60,000 users in over 50 countries. As of the time of this interview, we'll be able to discuss how Redcoin allows you to tip, whether you're tipping social media influencers, your next door neighbor, your favorite host like Jay Song, or some of the more up and coming content creators that are out there. You can technically donate or tip anyone on all major social media platforms. It's my understanding as of the time of this interview, which is March 19th, 2022, that Redcoin does allow for you to tip your favorite content creator on platforms such as Twitter and many others. I don't want to give too much attention to any particular social media platform, so I would just say at this point in time, it would be important for you to follow up with Redcoin's website to see what the use case is and how they continue to expand across all social media platforms. Now, the concept of Redcoin, according to their white paper, I'm just going to read from their abstract, which you can find on redcoin.com. So, for those of us who are new to digital currencies, you have something referred to as proof of stake velocity. As a concept, when we look at the abstract provided by Redcoin's white paper, the white paper for Redcoin was created in the year 2014, and it spoke about the idea of proof of stake velocity, proof of stake as a concept versus proof of work. Now, it's my understanding, as of today, which is March 19th, 2022, that proof of work is the underlying system or code that allows Bitcoin to function. Proof of work is an older technology in terms of coding, but it's also my understanding that proof of stake is actually more energy efficient. So while proof of stake is more energy efficient, it's my understanding that there are several cryptocurrencies or digital coins that are exploring the use of proof of stake over the more traditional proof of work. So what does that mean for you? For those of you who are the prospective buyers of digital coins or what we call cryptocurrency, it should allow at the time of purchase and less of a transaction fee at the point of sending from or to an exchange, or in some cases to a digital wallet, whether that be on your phone or on another system. We can discuss these things further towards the end of the presentation. Now, with regards to proof of stake velocity, it was designed to encourage both ownership, like staking, for example, and activity, meaning the transferability, what we call velocity, between two different systems. So, for the purposes of our conversation, the faster the velocity, typically the more fees you incur. But I think proof of stake was designed to reduce those fees for all parties involved. So the takeaway is that there are two main functions of Redcoin, with one it being a real currency and a store of value, and a medium of exchange. Now, Redcoin can also function as the unit of account in I will say, a like and kind social context. So over the first 5 years of point of stake velocity, it was very successful. Hence the reason why a lot of programs or cryptos have kept with using it. You can look to the paper for more details, and I will leave the authors as your source of information should you choose to follow them on Twitter. So if you should choose to follow Tech Adept and Lawrence Nash, you might find them on Twitter or check out redcoin.com. Let me go to the next slide. So the technological aspects of point of stake are given a detailed review of existing and future potential designs. At this point in time, Redcoin is unique in that it's the only social currency or digital currency that bridges any user's ability to, let's say, give digital money or currency from one user to another across the most social platform systems. So I'm going to move on to the next part of our presentation. Now, Redcoin markets. You might be asking yourself, how do I find Redcoin? And how pricey is it? Out of all the thousands of digital currencies, what we call cryptocurrencies out there, Redcoin is among some of the cheapest, or some of the cheaper ones, I should say. If you are someone who is here in the United States, or I should say living abroad, hopefully have access to the top three. Um, the first one, the leading one, is a platform called Bittrex, which I believe is based out of Washington, I think Seattle, if I'm not mistaken. And at this point in time, as of an hour before the presentation, the Bitcoin price is 0.00066. If you're more familiar with seeing your cryptocurrencies priced in Satoshis, I could do the conversion, but at the end of the day, for the most part, we primarily use dollars. Jason, do we have any questions or concerns about what markets defined Redcoin on?
Nothing yet. No questions yet.
Okay, all right. So, how does this tie in? What is the reason why I'm here talking about Redcoin today? I first heard about Redcoin well over 4 or 5 years ago as a what I would say is a God moment. I feel like the Lord led me to a particular community of fellow Christians, like-minded Christians, uh, that is, as a follower of Jesus, I came across a website called Z3 News for a variety of reasons. One of which was an emphasis on biblical scriptures and the studying of the Word, but also the financial sector. And so I'm fortunate to be not a member, but a visitor of the Z3 community. For more info, check out z3news.com. Okay, so I took a snapshot of a public forum taken from Z3 News, and there was a prophecy that I believe Christopher Harris himself was referring to. So on September 1st of 2018, roughly more than 3.5 years ago, Christopher Harris stated, in the dream, I was outside in what looked like a cafe type setting, and I saw a laptop open with two people next to it. And drawing in close and pointing at the screen, I saw something stock related, going to around 5,600. I thought the two men were remarking, and they seemed worried about the severe dip in the stock market. So, for context, this has yet to happen. These are things that are yet to happen. So, moving on, he goes on to say, I saw some red drops on a chart that was something to do with the market, but it seemed like it had not been that long since it was going down, or it was not completed yet. And I took over the mouse and I wanted to check crypto prices. It was on TradingView. So for those of you who are not familiar with TradingView, it's an app you can use on your laptop, PC, your Android or iPhone. It's free unless you have a membership, and it's a way to measure the volatility, the movements in the cryptocurrency markets, as well as in stocks and other investments. So to go on, he said he was watching this on TradingView and he saw that BTC, otherwise known as Bitcoin, was at $44,000. And then I thought to look at Redcoin and saw it was at 0.89. So my general assumption with Brother Christopher Harris's dream was that at some point when Bitcoin reaches $44,000, Redcoin had appreciated from what it's currently at 0.006 cents to roughly 89 cents, measured in dollars. So the takeaway for me is that as someone who may be looking to invest, or maybe someone who has invested in Redcoin, that's a tremendous increase in price. That's an exponential growth that most cryptos don't see, being presently valued at under a penny. So if you have yet to look at where to buy it, you might consider looking into that. But I digress. I'm going to go back to the PowerPoint. So the why. Why are we here? Why has the Lord put Redcoin on my heart? My wife and I are part of different church ministries, and I think I believe, I should say, that the Lord has laid it on my heart to positively affect change for those who are impacted the most. Now, in my line of work, that has meant working with youth and their families. I did that line of work for almost 2 decades, not including teaching, amongst other things. The main point is, I think that the benefits of acquiring and then selling Redcoin will allow many of us to pay it forward, to provide for the futures of those most in need. So for me, that would be widows and orphans. And I think that in order to do so, it means listening to the Lord and those that He's given these streams to, and determining what is the best price point to get into these things, and to simply wait and be patient for when they have their increase. Now, for me, RDD, otherwise known as Redcoin, is a part of that plan, and how I'll be giving back. All right, so one might say, what sets Redcoin apart from most of the other thousands or tens of thousands of cryptos? One of the beautiful things about Redcoin is that there is a mechanism called staking. Staking is an opportunity to take an X amount or a particular number of a digital coin, in this case, Redcoin, and to transfer it from your exchange that you acquired it from to the software wallet that Redcoin has provided users through their website. So for further information, I will say if you're considering doing that, you might go to redcoin.com, consider downloading their software wallet. It's a free wallet. It's an excellent wallet. You can also encrypt it, but we can talk about how to do that later if there's any concerns or questions around that. Um, Now, let's just say hypothetically someone had 50 to 100,000 red coins. Staking allows for you to do one of two things. One, if you're simply holding on to it for sale at a later point in time, you can activate staking, which means that you leave the software open on your laptop or PC, or if you're using a Macintosh, whatever it may be, and by having the software open, you're allowing the network to become stronger. Now, you might ask yourself, how does that happen? What are all the smaller details behind the scenes? Well, I'm not a computer programmer and I don't really understand code. My simple explanation would just be if you have 50 to say 100,000 Redcoin or less or more, whenever you have your staking wallet open, it simply allows you to be rewarded for the Redcoin that you keep on the software wallet. So after a certain amount of Redcoin being left on the open wallet, the the I guess the ecosystem that is known as Redcoin, right? Redcoin in their blockchain will reward you for keeping these Redcoins in your possession, which in turn strengthens the network. So I hope that I said that in a way that is clear and succinct, because sometimes I can be a bit wordy. But if there's any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll do my best to respond to that. Mr. Jason, do we have anyone with questions or concerns about staking?
Well, let's go. I'm sure there's going to be people who ask about it. Nothing
Okay.
just yet about specifics. Okay. So we'll let you continue. We'll probably end up coming back to it, I'm sure.
Okay. So at this price point, I would just say that Redcoin, as of 12:04 Pacific Standard Time, actually was cheaper than I thought. It was at 0.00066. So it's, I would say, less than a fourth of a penny, or maybe that's wrong. No, it's less than half a penny. I'll put it that way. So it's affordable. It's economical for all people, as long as you have some buying power. Okay.
Can I
Moving
ask you a
forward.
question, Mr. Mall?
Sure.
So you're telling us that Christopher Harris and had the dream or the vision that Redcoin was at 89 cents.
Yes.
Wow.
It's part of a series of dreams,
So
and
0.89 is 89 cents. That's what's way more than a penny. And if prices are
Yes.
less than a penny right now, if prices just were 1 penny, that would be 89 times your money. But they're less than. It was 00, right? 00 is the price. Let me
that's
take a look.
correct.
So
0.00066.
zero. Wow, 000. So that's potential for, like, if somebody had gosh, I don't even know how to calculate how much money that would be if somebody were to buy, and it would go to 1 cent just alone, let alone 1 penny. But it's a lot. It's just massive. Maybe you're smarter than me. Of course you are.
Is my calculator up on the screen? I think I'm
Yes,
going to
it
try
is.
to
We
do
can
a
see a calculator.
quick version of it.
Yeah.
So, if someone could present me with what they think would be a good investment, what's a good dollar amount we would want to
Just
invest
say
for
just say just say $200
demonstration purposes?
for this. Just say $200
Okay,
for
so
this.
$200, right?
Yeah.
$200, excuse me,
Divided by
divided by,
point.
assuming that's still the current price point, 366. That would be 303,030.30 repeating decimal, right? So, excuse me, let me go back for a second.
Yeah, $200
So
at
30303.
0.0006
0303.
multiplied
Okay,
by
so
2
multiplied by 0.89. That would be $269,696.96. That would be gross, right? Because for those who live in the U.S., traditional tax-paying citizens, that's gross, right? Net would be minus the taxes, depending on what state or jurisdiction you live in. So for that, I will say I am not a financial advisor. Please consider consulting a certified public accountant or your local tax professional.
Wow.
But that's a lot of money, right? A $200 investment turning into more than $250,000. Now, here's the kicker, right? For those of us who are followers of Christ, we know that the Lord loves to surprise us, right? He loves to be a cheerful giver, just as He encourages us to be a cheerful giver. So I believe the Lord has spoken prophetically to Brother Christopher Harris about multiple rises in the price of a red coin. So I want you to envision the potential and the promise, I would say, of Redcoin exceeding 89 cents per coin. I have, I, as I've been following Z3 News and their financial cryptocurrency section, it's my understanding that Redcoin is supposed to exceed the dollar per coin. It's supposed to even exceed some estimates as high as, well, I'll just say it will be worth your weight in gold because I think you could do a lot with what's going to be coming. But I don't want to spoil it. I'll just say go to z3news.com. I encourage you to follow the prophetic dreams that the Lord has given folks, in particular Christopher Harris. But if you're looking to invest in these things to give back to the kingdom of God, this is an excellent investment vehicle to do so. Um, and I'll be more than happy to answer the questions about some of the highs that I've seen Christopher Harris speak about, maybe towards the end of our video. Okay, so how many of us can imagine creating generational wealth for our loved ones, or maybe giving back to our community by creating a business that gives out food to those in need? I think that's an excellent opportunity, and so it's one of the many reasons why I've considered investing in Redcoin. Now, I forgot where we were before that question you asked, Jason. Was it? Oh, here we are. Staking. So I took a quick snapshot of the logon process for the Redcoin core wallet. They are currently at version 3.10.3. To my knowledge, it's the most recent update. And in total transparency, I have not opened the software in several months, or several weeks, I should say. Hence the reason why I took a snapshot of this, as opposed to the fact that it needs to be open and update. So if you were to open your Redcoin core wallet, this is what you see initially. And I think what we see here in the background are most likely faces from the Redcoin community. Redcoin created a book, a photo book, or I guess it's called like a photo digital journal, which was later printed out. It was published in book format, I think in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, the faces that you see here are people who are all part of the Redcoin community. Redcoin is not just about digital currency, it's also about giving back, which is one of the things that really impressed me about Tech Adept and his team. I don't know him personally, but I would love to interview him or to maybe have him here, Jason. That would be an excellent source of information about what's going on with the Redcoin community and with the technology. But yeah, from what I've read about him, he sounds like a really nice guy. Definitely someone with a altruistic heart and a passion for giving back to people. So as a follower of Jesus, I think that's important to have a heart for people and to give back in any way that you can. So back to the staking, just to kind of clarify how it works. The technology allows you to, let's say, buy Redcoin on, say, Bittrex exchange. You withdraw it from the exchange to your Redcoin core wallet address. And then from there, basically the software has to download a copy of the Redcoin blockchain. Depending on how many weeks or years your software is behind, it could take a day or two, because the blockchain for Redcoin has been around for several years, since what, 2014, when they first made their first blockchain, as I understand it. And after about 1 or 2 days, depending on if you have your power on your processor set to high, it will download a copy of the entire Redcoin blockchain. At which point your Redcoins will arrive on your software wallet, and then once the blockchain is up to date, it will start staking. Now, what does that mean for you? For those of you who are into free gifts, the more Redcoin you have, the more of a staking reward is issued to each user. So hypothetically, if you had 100,000 Redcoin, it may give you tens or hundreds of Redcoin once a week. The more you have, the more frequently the Redcoin ecosystem or the Redcoin blockchain will reward you. Why? Because you are strengthening their network. And as you strengthen their network, you're doing the entire community a solid. You're doing them a favor. So I can speak more about that later, but for the sake of time, I want to keep moving forward. But it's one of the greatest things about Redcoin, other than their, the great work that they do. So here is a copy of some of the transactions that I have conducted personally. I chose not to include my personal addresses because I don't want folks sending me Redcoin. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to just simply inform the community that what Redcoin is. I will say that from the Redcoin that I do have, it's on the exchange with my sell orders in. Now, why is that important? To do one of two things. Why is it important to stake? And why is it important to have your Redcoin on the exchange and ready for sale? As I mentioned earlier, Christopher Harris received many dreams from the Lord about the great things that Redcoin is going to do, prophetically speaking, right? Redcoin is going to be a game changer for many families, for many individuals, for many churches. And I decided to move all of my Redcoin off of the software wallet to, in this case, Bittrex. And I put in my buy orders, excuse me, I put in my sell orders for when Redcoin hits certain price targets as measured in as a trading pair, right? So for those of you who are not familiar with how to put in a sell order, it simply means in exchange for every Redcoin in my digital possession, right, my digital ownership, I have pegged a certain price point for a certain bunch of Redcoin, whether it's, let's say, 5 cents, 15 cents, whatever. And once that price target is hit, I plan on, kind of scraping off some profits and then tucking the rest of it away for the next dip, right? Because we all know, at least those of us who've been in the cryptocurrency community for a while, we know that nothing typically goes all the way up and stays there. It has to increase and then depreciate. Now, I believe that Redcoin will go up and then it will depreciate, at which point in time I'm prayerfully considering buying more, right? For when it appreciates well above 89 cents. Those sell orders will be in and I'll be able to capitalize on the profits that are made there. And what will I be doing? I'll be repeating steps 1 and 2, right? Until the very end of Redcoin's final price target, which, as I said earlier, you can find more about that on z3news.com with Mr. James Bailey, who's the creator of the Z3 News community. Jason, do we have any questions at this point in time?
Some people are sharing that other dreams. That saying that yes, these are dreams that people are having, confirming the what you're talking about. But I have some questions for you. Okay, so
Yes.
so you're telling us about some opportunities that is to stake, and so what would be an ideal so just to kind of make things simple for everybody who may not understand about staking, is that staking is leaving money in the crypto exchange or with a Redcoin on the Redcoin wallet. Is that where it is to do the staking part?
Yes. So in layman's terms, once you have acquired Redcoin and you place it into your digital wallet, this is a digital image of my Redcoin core wallet.
Redcoin core
It
wallet. Yeah,
essentially
that's the
lives
one
here.
you're talking. Okay.
Yes. So the Redcoin lives here until such time that you transfer it out of the wallet, right? Just like
Yes.
money, right?
So
That lives in my actual wallet. If this is the wallet, right?
yes.
My currency, in this case, Redcoin, exists in here until I choose to send it elsewhere.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if I choose to receive it from Bittrex into my wallet, then it lives here. And the more Redcoin that I put into my wallet, the more the ecosystem that is the Redcoin blockchain will reward me by saying, "Oh, Mr. Mall has X amount of Redcoin and it's increasing." And as my wallet has more weight to it, which is the blockchain's way of recognizing those who have more than others, they reward me by paying me out free Redcoin.
Okay.
The more you have, the more frequently that payout occurs. The less you have, the less frequently that occurs.
Okay.
Does that make sense, folks? Okay. I hope that answered your question.
So and then
I
so
get
we
excited
can,
when talking about this stuff.
so you stake and have your orders in the same Redcoin wallet basically.
Okay.
Correct?
So to your
On the right
question,
side?
you can only stake within the wallet
Okay.
because at this time, my understanding is there are no cryptocurrency exchanges, whether centralized or decentralized, that allow you to stake Redcoin as of yet.
Okay.
Now, if someone is aware of there being a platform where I can do that outside of the core wallet, please let me know. I would love to learn about it. But as of this video, that is not an option. You can only stake by downloading a copy of the software through redcoin.com and then sending your Redcoin to your wallet, right? By requesting an address. Actually, you brought up a good point. In order to get your Redcoin to your wallet, you have to download a copy of the software from redcoin.com. As I understand it, you go to the wallet section where they talk about, hey, what system you're using, what operating system. For me, I use Windows. I'm a Windows guy for now. Then once I click on the executable file, You know, this same image comes up when it first starts opening or loading.
Okay.
After it's finished loading, you see how it says loading block index? It's basically loading the entire blockchain for Redcoin from when it first started in, I guess, 2014 or whatever to present day. Once it's open, if you're creating, your first Redcoin address, you simply click on the down button here that says request, and then you'll get an address that you can then copy, and it'll look something like this, except it'll be much longer. I cut off the image from my address because I don't want anyone sending me Redcoin, at least not at this point in time. Um, and then you can easily receive some or all of your Redcoin, or you're hosting a video, much like we're doing now, and someone decides, hey, I really like the content that JSON did recently. Let me send him some Redcoin. So as long as your public address is posted somewhere, say on your webpage, JSON, or on your Twitter feed, or on Facebook, if you're into that kind of stuff, you can receive Redcoin any time of day, 24/7, because the blockchain lives forever. It does not shut down, uh, even if your laptop is literally closed, right? Your address will always be able to receive as long as you do not, as I understand, as long as you always have the password or the key to open up your wallet again, you should be able to use that address. Conversely, if you need to send Redcoin to an exchange, you simply click on this button here, right? So I click on this button here, oh, excuse me, and I would need to copy in this case, Bittrex address for Redcoin, which would look, again, something very similar to one of these, and then I would paste it into the prompt that would pop up. It would be a little box, and it would ask you, what's the address, and then how much are you sending?
Okay.
So I hope I've made that plain. I think, if you're new to digital currencies and how to buy, hodl, or sell these things are very important to learn how to do when you're just getting started off. I would highly suggest, right, this is not financial advice, I would highly suggest that whenever you're making a transaction, whether you're receiving or sending, that you send a minimal amount, just to kind of get your feet wet, so to speak. Get your digital feet wet by sending a small amount first. That way, you can get some exposure to the blockchain and how to send or receive, and you don't run as likely a risk of losing any of your Redcoin or any other digital currency for that matter. So did that answer your question, Mr. Song, about the staking versus how to send or receive?
Yes, and I think it's really important that a lot of us are when you're if you're really new to the crypto world, if you're sending crypto to someone else or to someone, to send a small amount first. Make sure that it goes through. Sometimes when you're sending coins, you need a tag and an address. Sometimes you just need an address. Sometimes you need the address and the tag. And the tag, you just copy and paste both of them. But there's a lot of people who've gotten their crypto stuck in limbo for a little bit because they just send it too quickly and didn't copy and paste right, or they mess something up. So just get your feet wet. It's not as hard, nothing to be scared about or anything when you are sending. But I think that it's a good thing that that Redcoin does this.
Okay. With that said, I will give one more pro tip before we move on, because I think we're almost at the end of the presentation content.
Okay.
If you are someone who's not as familiar with how to receive or send digital currency, I learned early on from, I believe it was, there's a YouTuber by the name of Joe. Some of you may know him as JSmith4. I learned something from him early on in the days of observing what other people are doing regarding digital currencies. And he said, when you're sending or receiving crypto, make sure to write down the first four or five parts of the characters, right, in the crypto address. So in this case, December 28th, 2021, we have the letters RBD and then capital N, right? And then, if I was doing this traditionally, I would look at the last four characters of this particular address. And I obviously don't know what that is right now because I cut it off. But you take the first 4 or 5 characters and then the last 4 or 5 characters. And as you're pasting it into the exchange of your choice, where you can buy or sell Redcoin, make sure that it matches, right? Because sometimes human error, sometimes we get in the way of ourselves for whatever reason. Maybe we're distracted, maybe we're multitasking, you might be playing video games while you're doing your cryptocurrency stuff, or you might be in conversation with somebody. But ultimately, whenever there's money on the table, whether it be real money, or should I say tangible, holding your hand money, or virtual money, you want to make sure that you do it right. So this is another reason why I would suggest, not advise, I would suggest you send smaller denominations or smaller portions of your crypto the first 1 or 2 times, just so you can kind of get your feet wet. So with that said, those are some
Mr.
of the safety precautions. Yes, sir.
I was going to ask you. What are some of the most recent payout rates that Redcoin is paying out, and are they only paying out on staking when Redcoin is going up, or do they still pay out regardless of the direction of the crypto?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked. I have, I have personally, um, I'll say this. I have seen people receive payouts from the Redcoin ecosystem, whether the crypto markets are up and when they're down.
Wow.
So it pays out in either situation. Tell me, how many other digital coins do you know of where the system pays you out whether the markets are up or down? I'm curious. Are there any? Is there anyone?
Just banking or like an interest rate of some kind that's really, really low.
Right, right. And so to go into the more technical side of it, like as far as I know, there's a lot of Redcoin out there. But more importantly, Redcoin is one of the few that I know of where when you stake, you get paid just to be a participant, right? You get paid without having to ask, oh, hey, what are the perks about using this ecosystem or this currency? Well, depending on how many you have or how few you have, some of you will reap the benefits sooner than others. And then, to my surprise, the first time I got that payout years ago, I was pleasantly surprised. I think I might have waited a week. And so I started to increase my holdings. And sometimes I admit I might have sold some of those holdings just to kind of test the system and see how it works. But yes, the way Redcoin is designed to work is you get paid regardless of whether the market is up or down. So it's all contingent on the weight of your wallet, so to speak. So just to recap, the more Redcoin you have in your digital possession or in your wallet, the more frequently the system will recognize the weight of your wallet, which means you get paid out sooner than others who have less Redcoin in their digital wallets.
Oh,
Um,
good.
so for the last thing, I would just say in summary, Redcoin's future is bright, fast, and already here. How will you get involved? Come take the deep dive with us. I would strongly suggest to you to come take the deep dive with us here at the JSON community. For further information, you can find him at www.patreon.com. I believe that's /JSONG_7 or JSON_7. And with that being said, thank you. It's been an awesome, I've had an awesome time being able to speak to you all about these, this particular cryptocurrency. I look forward to hearing about how the Lord has blessed you should you decide to take the deep dive. Thanks for your time.
Ms. MAAL, thank you so much for your presentation. It was very well polished. I do apologize about some of the technical limitations and audio issues that I've been giving you. I do apologize. This is a very interesting opportunity. If we're going to be looking at a coin, the coins we should probably be the most concerned about are coins that are the prophetic coins. And if we're going to be staking, when we're we putting the control of our coin into the hands of whoever we're staking with. In this case, it's with the actual a wallet designed by the cryptocurrency company itself. And so because of that, it's more, I would feel more safe, rather than just in Bob's wallet, some kind of, George wallet. This is Redcoin in Redcoin wallet. So I really like that fact. I also like the fact that the staking has, they pay you out in more Redcoin, and that if we're going to be holding our money there while it's a staking, it has a higher possibility of going up because it's prophetic. So we want to have some of that backing. Let's go over some of the data right now and look at current Redcoin and see what's going on, because this wouldn't be a JSON type event without some kind of data going on when it comes to the cryptocurrency stuff. Right now, this is where we are with Redcoin. Okay, so let's pull this up real quick. Okay. Currently, we're on Redcoin. We were last on at January 14th is the last time we looked at this map. And I just added a few things just as we were talking. I'm going to show you the things that have been on here. So this is a weekly chart. Let's go back down to our daily chart on Redcoin. This is the line that I gave everybody last year. And the last time we checked it as well on January 14th, we had been here. So January 14th was here. And we've had this specific line. This line here is one of our SWORD 2.0 lines. Based on keyline analysis. And basically, price has been hanging out, falling down the mountain, hugging this line very, very closely. We did have some weakness appearing by going over the line, tried to get some health and did not, and we still falling down the mountain. So the health hasn't fully emerged in the market. However, One thing we do want to note is that price is currently still on top of this line, hugging it very unusually. So even though you're falling down the mountain, you're not falling down at accelerated rates. We came here, bounced up to this line, and just stayed on this line. We didn't come back down into this zone much. We did a little bit here, and this zone right here is going to be your mid-phantom zone. So let's just talk about that for just a moment. So Redcoin, this is your major top here. Okay, that's your major top, and I believe it's going to be our key line. But this is the bottom of the area. It's the same angle. Okay, it's the same angle. 50% is your mid-phantom line, and the reason I call them phantom is because you only see the angle if you drew the original one correctly. When you draw the original angle, then you duplicate that angle at key points along the chart, and there you can see it. So it's invisible until you actually draw the correct line. Otherwise, you won't be able to just draw the correct line with your eyes only. It's invisible. All right. So by drawing the line correctly, you duplicate it at the different parts, and therefore we know if price were to fall today, we know the lowest it would fall to would be down these prices over here. Okay. Likewise, if price were to rise today, we know some of our main price points, and they would be more over. Hold on. Over here at 0010. Okay. Again, current price is around 0006. And that's where our next roofs would be at. Okay, so we really want to, generally when it comes to timing, we want to wait for price to start coming and entering into the healthy areas past here. And then it will have to battle against this resistance, and then we'll need another behavior battling against that sword cut. And then finally, it would need to clear these areas, and then you're on your way up to very high levels once we're up here. I have an old sword cut that looks like it has not been hitting. It's somewhere around 0.006. Okay, so 006 current price is 0006. So double six up here, and there's a lot of, this is some of the journey on here. Once price starts breaking above these, the money that's available really starts accelerating. Okay, the highest that price has ever been for Redcoin is at 0.0135. So it's already been at a penny in the past, and that would be a great gain, a lot of money that's available on the table. Again, everything in this video is not financial investment or trading advice of any kind. Everything is just for entertainment, educational, and comedic purposes only. But keep this in mind. Now, where are some of the local healths going to come in? I believe some of the most local healths will come in once we cross this parabolic right here marked in blue. I'm going to bring it up in opacity. So that means that we want to see price break above these current prices here. When price breaks above these current prices here, it's going to be 0007. When you start seeing price trade on here, it means health has entered the market. And therefore, we may be really close to our timing. Okay, we may be close to our timing windows. Let's give that a quick color match. Okay, so we want to be trading in this area because that's where the health is starting to come in. Okay, so that's when we start getting healthy. Here's going to be more healthy, and here's going to be healthy as well. But your very healthies are when you start getting up here. I would feel more comfortable taking some of the trades once we get past this line. Okay, I would also feel comfortable taking a trade from here to here, but it might be quick. So I would measure these in 3 separate behaviors that will need price to hit. And this is just for your shorter term. If we're talking longer term prophetic, then you want to generally buy using something like, as Superfood uses the word dollar cost mapping. So dollar cost mapping is people who are going to buy anyway, but if you're going to buy, don't buy at the tops of the maps, buy at the lower parts of the maps. And to let you guys know, price has been on the lower part of this map for quite a bit. Price is at one of the lowest prices it's ever been, and it's hugging this line in a very unusual way. When you start seeing price act very unusual, yet still going down, you may see price react really quickly. It's an unusual phenomenon when price is hugging under a line longer than it should, acting unusual. Usually prices break through, and it happens really, really quickly. And I believe that's because it represents some type of syndicate, pressure, manipulation, price suppression, some things like that. There's always, in the background of every major cryptos and things like that, there's always big money that's moving and getting into position well before those positions show up on price itself. Okay, but at any rate, I will let you know this is very unusual. We've been here and we didn't bounce. We just kind of hugged the line. We didn't fall through really, just a little bit, and then we went right back to the line hugging. So that's very unusual, which means that if a move happens, it may be very sharp and unexpected. Once we get into 0007, it would be a time to start really seriously considering Redcoin. Alternately, price were to fall below those, you're going to see price do something like this on the underside, hitting this segment here, which is the lowest wick based on this parabolic. This is the lowest wick, so this would be where our first confirmation. Also, this is the lowest core over here, and according to the rules, drawing it straight up, straight down, gives you this is the floor. It's your first floor for this parabolic. So this is where I'm kind of going a little fast, but basically this is the core parabolic. This is the duplicate of it. Okay, price has adhered to this line very, very well. Let's bring it up so you guys can see it real quick. There it is. Price brought to the core, did not cross below this core. It just stayed there, stayed there, stayed there, stayed there. Okay. However, okay, you can see it. There's there, there. However, price did start penetrating below the line here in the last few days. So now we're just talking about this teal. So it did find rest on this line. So you got, may not be holding up because of this blue line anymore, which means if price were to fall, it would most likely go to some of these areas here. However, the yellow line is still holding up. But there are some clues that we may get prices closer to this blue line, which is around the 0004 level RDD, okay? If you start trading below that level, then you're looking for prices to start coming to these last 2 points. And either way, these are also the low areas of the map. Okay, I won't put that with a box, but I'll circle it just to let you guys know the areas that are highly likely at the moment, okay? These are the areas where price was most likely going to have its behavior. So breaks above here, you're getting up there, okay? Breaks below here, you're getting down here to these two areas, okay? So these are the two watch areas. 1, 2, let's give them a number. 1, 2, and that's down there, okay? And then finally up here, these are going to be your next watch areas. We'll label that 3, and then 4, 5. Okay? So either we're going to be breaking above here, but either way, I want you guys watching this line very closely over the next couple weeks. And that's part of my map for RDD. Okay, let's bring Mr. Mall back on. Thank you very much. All right. Now at this point, we're going to open this map will also be available on the website. So everybody will make it public so everyone can see who is just visiting. You guys can all see this last Redcoin map. Okay, we'll update that date as well. Mr. Ma, I want to thank you for your presentation as well. At this moment, we have some people in the group. We had some specific questions. I remember I wrote down something. You may have came back in the group and answered some of the more important questions. But we were going to ask you about. Let's see, Prophet Robin. Did you about some of the more prophetic coins? Have you heard of any other of the prophetic cryptocurrencies that are on your radar? Things that you may have been following, or any other crypto prophetic news that may have come in recently about Redcoin, or other maybe prophets or people that you follow and things like that?
If I can take a moment just to kind of look at some of the notes that I've more recently been keeping.
Yeah.
I have a list of coins that I'm following.
Okay.
So to be totally transparent, I just wrote these down earlier in the week. So I've got my list. It's quite extensive. The ones with the asterisks are the ones that are of concern.
Okay.
I think based on the
did you want me to put your screen back on? I'm
so,
gonna put your screen back on. I think you're sharing your screen. Is that your screen? Let me show you. Are you sharing your screen?
No. I mean, I guess I could.
You can if you want to. You don't have to. It's up to you.
It may not be as visible because this is handwritten on a notepad. So I mean, if you all are okay with that.
No, it's up to you. It's up to you. We'll leave it. Okay, here you got.
Okay, so for what it's worth, I've been following quite a few crypto coins. The ones that I'm keeping my eye on. Is that what your question was? Just to
Sure.
Make sure I was on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
So the coins that I'm following right now, prophetically speaking, are Baby Doge, BCH, which I think the name of that is changed to BCM, but I need to verify that. That one stands for Bitcoin Cash. Of course, you have Bitcoin, otherwise known as BTC.
Mm-hmm.
Pardon me. Then we have some people call it Doggy Coin or Doge, depending on how you pronounce it. Then there's Empire Token.
Yep.
HBAR. One that Christopher Harris spoke about years ago, but I think the Lord gave him kind of as I understand, the Lord gave him more of a revelation about it, was one that's called Clay. It's spelled Klay.
Okay.
Then we have Link, which is short for Chainlink. That's LINK. Litecoin, which is LTC. And I could be mistaken about these next two, but they are Luna, LUNA, and Mana. I'm not so sure if there are prophecies about Mana. I also put an asterisk next to these last two because I think they're newer to me, and I have yet to do the research to determine if I'm going to consider investing in it. Then one that I've been following since the days of Cliff High and his Whatbot reports For those of you who are not familiar with Cliff, he does really good work about a variety of things, and I will leave it up to you to determine if that's something you'd be interested in exploring. But he has done some great work with respect to digital currencies, um, including work about Litecoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash. It's an interesting thing when, to kind of do a sidebar, it's an interesting thing when the prophetic meets the mm, non-prophetic intel, I guess it's the best way to say it, because the things that the Lord has spoken to different people about in terms of Bitcoin and the volatility in the market as early back as, I don't know, 2017, Cliff was doing his thing, and his research is on point. Like, I don't want to I don't want to have any kind of like copyright infringement, so I won't go into the details there. But if you've ever followed his work with
Okay.
regards to, let's say in this case, digital coins, you may notice that he's been on point with where the markets are going. Um, so I digress as far as that stuff. But the other coins that I've been following, not in the last couple of years, but that have been on my radar, are Neo, spelled Neo. It is a digital coin created by, I think, the Chinese, if not mistaken.
Okay.
I think China has used this one. Oh, this one also has a staking feature. I personally have not used the Neo wallet in many years, so I don't want to assume that that is still the case where they pay out on a regular basis. But that is also one that you can stake, and I think you can stake from your phone too. So that's kind of a plus.
Oh, okay. So that was,
Another
and that's Neo.
another Neo spelled Neo, or
Okay.
think of like Neo from the
Has
Matrix.
the
That's one way to
staking
remember
feature.
it.
Okay.
Then you have Omisa Go, which I think is I think it's a Korean currency or cryptocurrency.
Omisa, how do you spell that?
The abbreviation for that is sure. The first word is spelled OMISE, and the second word is Go, spelled GO.
Okay.
Some people just use the acronym OMG. Um, so next up we have Ecomi, which I heard about from I think your colleague in the crypto series, Jason, Miss Lady Queen.
Okay.
It's the first person I heard mention Ecomi,
Ecomi.
which goes by the initials OMI.
Oh, am I? Okay. Oh, that's the what I call Omi. Okay.
Yes.
We have maps for some of these.
Next
That's
up we
good.
have. Oh, pardon?
We have maps for many of these coins.
So
Not all of them, but so I look forward to reviewing these in classes during this week. So that'll be good.
Yes. Um, then there's one that I learned from Christopher Green from AMTV.
Okay.
Hopefully he doesn't mind me throwing his name out there. It's Orchid, Orchid like the flower.
Okay.
I'll call it the ticker symbol, for lack of a better word, is OXT. And then one that has been extremely difficult to find on many crypto platforms is called 10x. TEN, and then the letter X, which it also goes by the symbol PAY. Then we have, I'm not so sure about this one. Like I've purchased it before, but this was many years ago. It's called Power Ledger.
Power Ledger. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, Power Ledger is still around. I think it's still considered popular. It has, it's been very resilient. I think it's definitely seen price fluctuation, just like Redcoin. But I think this one could be a good one to look into. Always do your research. Let me put that out there. This is educational, right, and not financial advice.
Yes.
Then we have Quant, spelled QUANT. The abbreviation for that, we'll call it Q
UNT.
as in quark, N as in Nancy, T as in Tim. There's several others, but I think I won't go into the ones that are not highlighted with asterisks because, I don't want to take away from the content creators that, have pay-for services where you can really get into the details about it. Then we have, I pronounce it Saitama. It's SAITAMA. It's part of the, as I understand it, it's part of the meme coins. So if you think of Dogecoin or Shiba Inu, Saitama is in that family, so to speak. Then we have Sandbox, and the abbreviation for that is just SAND, SAND. Then of course we have our favorite, one of my favorites, Shiba Inu.
I knew you were gonna say it. I knew you were gonna say it. We covered Shiba this morning. It's a very critical time for
Yes.
Shiba. The next day, and actually the next 24 hours is critical time.
Let's just say my wallet is very happy. I checked it in between class. Yeah, so I'm happy about that. Um, Next up, we have Solana. I've heard good things about it. I cannot say that this one is part of the prophetic, but for what it's worth, I've heard it's a good project. It's at over $1 last time I checked, so it's been a good project. Um, One of my favorites is Storage, STORJ, and got maybe 10 more to go.
Okay.
Now, there's a new token that was produced as a fork, I think. I could be wrong. I think it's a fork of the Theta network. It's called T-Drop. So they recently had an airdrop of crypto tokens, I think within the last month. So feel free to correct me if I'm mistaken, community, as I'm in grad school, so I don't always have the time or the energy to research these things. Um, Next up, we have Theta Fuel.
Mm-hmm.
Theta Fuel's abbreviation is T Fuel, so T as in Tim, FUEL. And then one of my personal favorites is Theta. So Theta, like the brainwave, right?
Yeah.
So that's THETA. Next, we have Tronics, TRONIQ. At least I think that's how it's pronounced. It's either Q or X, but the abbreviation for it is TRX. A lot of people just call it Tron for short. Then I think we have I think it's a privacy token. I forget if it's a privacy token or an anonymity token called Monero. The symbol for that is XMR. And then we have Ripple, right? The game changer.
Which is XRP.
Right, thank you. Then we have Stellar Lumens, the sister to the game changer, right? Stellar Lumens is abbreviated as XLM. Then we have Zilika. So Zilika is also one of those prophetic coins. Actually, the last five were part of the prophetic dreams that I believe the Lord has given different people over the last few months and years. So we're in that window, prophetically speaking, where I think the Lord has put things into action. So we just need to, for those of us who are involved in the digital currency space, I personally encourage you I strongly personally encourage you to consider praying over your investments, not just for your sake, but also for your family's sake, because there's generational wealth, right? And I'm going to take a moment, if I may, Jason, just to say,
Sure.
well, what the enemy has purposed as referring to it as the Great Reset, the Lord has had in His heart well before the plans of the enemy. And I think the Lord is referring to this as the wealth transfer. So for those of us who are followers of Christ, the wealth transfer is God's love and purpose for us to expand the kingdom of God through the cryptos, through the digital coins, I should say, because the word crypto means dead. I don't think these coins are dead. I think the Lord is actively doing great things and through these projects. So from this point forward, I'm going to try to make an effort to call them digital coins. These digital coins are doing their thing, and it's our responsibility to be, as Christians, I should say, to be good stewards of the wealth transfer that the Lord is blessing us with, so we can be a blessing unto others. That's all I have for now as far as this list. I do have another, but I'd have to do research and find it.
Well, I
So I hope
appreciate
that
this
helps.
list. No, it does, because we cover, as we cover a lot of some of these coins in our dive class, which is how we study price behavior throughout the week. We do have classes on Monday mornings, 7 a.m. We have classes at Monday morning, 7 a.m. Lima time, which is now 8 a.m. And Saturday at Saturday at 9 a.m. Like I said, it's 7 a.m. on Mondays mornings, but New York time it's going to be 8 a.m. And then Fridays also 8 a.m. New York time, 7 a.m. Lima time, and then also Saturday it's going to be 9 a.m. New York time and 8 a.m. Lima time, Lima, Peru. Okay, we also have classes in the night, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 7 p.m. all nights. I want to tell you guys thank you for watching the interview today with Mr. MAAL. Thank you for his time. From our group on who's joined us live, I'm going to let them ask some questions of you. Did we have any other questions before we let Mr. MAAL go? Otherwise, you usually can catch him. He jumps in when he's in between his classes. He'll jump in the dive live streams, and you guys can contact directly with him there or after class. I always open it up for group discussion. I'm usually there for about a half an hour to an hour, and usually some people are there for even longer, and you guys can make friends and have great group discussions if you guys are like this kind of content and having talks about basically the Christian community, the Christian crypto community. That's basically what it is, and you guys can be a part of this dives. I do have those dives are $18 a month, and you get a full month of just joining us in the group and going over crypto action and requesting builds for those maps. We just do them here. Most of the time we do them live, and usually there's plenty of time to do almost most of the cryptos we're looking for that day. And we do new builds for new maps. Jamal just gave us like almost 20 coins worth of that we are looking at, and we have many of maps for many of these coins. So if you guys are curious about some of these, we'll get you those maps and let you know you are here, so to speak, on the map, and that helps you stack the odds of your favor, knowing when the seasons and the timings, what's moving, what's entered into health, what's entered into weakness. We do a lot of that for every crypto. So I hope you guys will join us at the website www.patreon.com/jsong_7, and again, you guys can reach out to Jamal there in the group. So with that said, let's see. Superfood, did you have a question? Oh, is he still? He says, I have a question when it starts.
Here's a question.
Hey, Superfood.
You're welcome. I hope that it was of use to you. I think, when we talk about iron sharpening iron, that's also part of the reason why I'm in this crypto group, this digital currency group, because I don't know everything, and I need to be the first one to say that, And so I'm humbled by those that are here in this space, to whom I could, from whom I can learn a lot more than what I bring to the table. So glad to have you here, Superfood. Me? Yes, I am. It's a suggestion, because it is the leading digital currency platform to buy and sell not just Redcoin but many others that are on that list that I provided, as well as on the host of currencies that JSON covers when we do the deep dives. And they have a ton of security features, which is also another reason why I like using them. They have a digital coin app that you can use from your cell phone if you should choose to do that, or if you prefer to use your laptop or a tablet, you can always access your account through those means as well.
So when I was in there, I just wanted to give everybody a heads up. They don't request for you to open up your account. It's your bank account, a debit card, or a bank wire. They don't accept credit cards, so just a heads up for everybody.
But they do accept debit cards?
That's correct.
Yes, they do.
Yes. And I will say this from personal experience: if you use a credit union, to acquire digital coins through them, sometimes you may get a call or a text message from your bank asking you if this is you trying to conduct a transaction, because sometimes, in my experience, credit unions are not as digital coin friendly, because technically it's competition for them, right? So make sure that you have a good rapport with the people at your bank, at your local bank, or whomever you use. In the event that you do see like an email sent to you like, hey, was this you trying to conduct a transaction? Because in my early days, it was a problem, but it's not been such a problem as of late.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to, you're right, they do have other coins, because I want to get rid of a couple of other exchanges that I'm with. So, do you mind if I give you a quick list? It's most of the coins that we have in the chart.
Is a list for me or for JSON?
It's for anyone who's listening. And some other coins that JSON has done and that Bittrex carries them. There's some other ones that they didn't carry, but that's fine. XLM, XRP, Doge, Cosmos, Engine, ADA, IOTA, TGP, Algo, HBAR, Luna, Sand, and Matter. The reason why those are my
quite a few.
Those are the ones I had, and I'm going to get rid of some of the other exchanges and stick with Bittrex.
What's your engine? How do you spell engine?
ENJ.
ENJ. Oh, okay.
We recently did that one.
Oh, okay. Good.
We did that one yesterday, I think.
Is that what you're saying, Superfood?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Those are the ones that are on Bittrex.
That's good.
So for myself, just because I knew that there was like 3 or 4 in here that I exclusively use for one exchange, and I'm in the works of getting rid of exchanges, that's what I'm saying, that Bittrex has a good amount of good coins there.
Okay. Thank you, Superfood. And that's really good to add to our list, because I haven't looked at Cosmos in a while, neither Algo. And I think AD we covered earlier this week. Every night we cover usually about 6 to 10 or more cryptos, sometimes only. Usually it's about 6 only. And then we'll also do tutorials from some of the pre-release for the Sword Method 2.0 modules that will be released sometime this year, sooner than later. I've had some issues going on here, so we'll let you guys know that. But in the dive class, we cover the price behaviors with going through many of these maps. So this is really, really good. Did we have any other questions for Mr. MAAL for his time here?
Okay, so I just It's very simple. So if you can help me out on the Bittrex, what do I have to do from Bittrex to the Redcoin? Because I'm in Redcoin, and am I sending, requesting?
First things first, are you using the Redcoin app on your phone, or are you using Redcoin through the website?
No.
Through the website on your laptop.
The wallet on the PC.
Okay, on your computer.
On the computer. I don't use the
Okay. Can you all see it?
You can see your screen.
Okay. So I choose not to trust the device. That's just me personally. I don't feel comfortable because if for whatever reason there's like some program that I might have downloaded, I don't ever want that to come back and like potentially take over my computer. So just as a security thing, something that I do not download software from websites that I'm not familiar with. Particularly any website that I go to for the first time, I do it on my phone. For the most part, I do not surf websites on my investment laptop. Okay, so Superfood, to answer your question, we go to holdings.
That's where I'm at.
In this case, okay, so I guess full disclosure, I have over 1 million Redcoin right now on this particular exchange. So if I was going to withdraw this, so this is the whitelist, I think. Is this the whitelist? So I don't have any Redcoin that I want to take off right now because I have them all in buy orders. In sell orders. So I guess we need to talk about one or two things. So for you, Superfood, do you have a whitelist that you have actively up right now, or is it just like you can withdraw whenever you want?
Hold on, let me see if I can withdraw. Hold on. No, it's blank. Everything's blank. I never used it.
Okay, so just to kind of elaborate, what a whitelist is for is it's a safety measure in place that a user gets to put up if they want to or not. I use one just in case my account, God forbid that my account would ever be compromised. There's a pre-approved list of wallets for different exchanges and for different hardware wallets and for different software wallets. So for those of you who are not familiar with that, we can talk about that in a minute. But the long and the short of it is, this is a pre-filled out address where my Redcoin can go. So if I would look here, say again. So these are all addresses that I've used over a certain length of time that are pre-approved for this wallet. So is my screen still showing, Jason?
Yep, it's still.
Okay, so right now I'm looking at my Redcoin core wallet. Is that what you all see on your screen?
Yes, that's what we're saying.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to request an address, right? So for the purposes of this video, I'm not going to use this link, but if you were on an exchange where you needed to copy the address that's going to receive the Redcoin, this is the address that you'd want to copy, right? So my rule of thumb, does anyone remember? I write down or memorize the first 4 characters, right? So in this case, these 4, or I write down the last 4, right? So I prefer to write it down. That takes a little time. If it's a lot of money, it's worth writing down. It's also good practice. Or you can just copy address, right? Keep it simple. Copy address. I click it 1 or 2 times. And then I go back to the exchange. And for you, Superfood, you would just paste it in this search box here, right? I can't do that right now because I have the whitelist addresses feature on. So I have to first add that address. So that whole process is...
No worries.
For those of you who use a whitelist,
for everybody, just a heads up.
Yeah.
I opened up my Bittrex account today. Just a heads up. There's a 14-day wait. I guess I don't know, for security reasons. In order for me to deposit, to take it out. So it's a 14-day hold. Just a heads up.
Okay.
What do you mean when you say 14-day hold for what?
Not sure. I opened up the account today, and when I was ready to go through the steps, it said that I had a 14-day hold. I won't be able to take it out, whatever I bought.
So Superfood, what
Okay.
that typically means is that they're not going to allow you to move those coins for 14 days. After the 14 days, then you can move them to a different exchange.
Yes. But I wanted to give everybody the heads up that you might get a 14-day wait.
Yeah, sure. Same with Gate
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Gate.io is also experiencing, well, some people have experienced having difficulty continuing to use their platform because they were recognized as being US customers. We can talk more about that later after dark if you want, Jason. But
Sure, sure.
I've seen other people report having issues with that. So let's see, holdings. If I was going to withdraw this stuff, forgive me, it's kind of been a little while. So I think I would go to withdraw, right? If I was going to if I was going to add an address to the whitelist, I would do that, and then it would appear in the dropdown. Let's just assume that my address is here. I click on it. I determine how many Redcoins I want to send off the exchange to the wallet. And then there's a minimum transaction fee of 2 Redcoin, right? 2 whole Redcoin. And then I would click on withdraw. For me, I would have to approve the process because I think I get an email saying, "Hey, is this you trying to withdraw such and such amount from your account?" I would then have to click yes, this is me, and then depending on the weight of the network. Here's the other thing about Redcoin. Redcoin operates off of the Bitcoin blockchain technology, which is kind of slow, right, compared to say Stellar Lumens or Ripple. So it may be like half an hour to an hour before your stuff gets there.
Okay.
So keep that in mind, Superfood. So anyhow, once I have pasted the receiving address here and I determine how many I want to send, I click withdraw. Within 30 minutes to an hour, I think you would then see your transactions start to come in. It will show recent transactions, today's date, the time of the first confirmation. And I think after, I want to say it's 6 confirmations, maybe more, you'll see it fully confirmed in this drop-down list. So just to reiterate, if you are sending or receiving Redcoin, make sure you copy the correct address. We do not use the URI address. We only use the one called address. So skip this part, click on this one. Okay? And if that makes sense, Superfood, you should be in good hands. You can decide to send off a small amount, whether it's, sending 10 Redcoin or however many you have. It's up to you. I think we covered everything there. I mean, there's more to go into, but I don't know how much time y'all have.
Once it's in your wallet, the staking aspect, is that within the wallet?
Yes, yes, it is. So once it arrives here on the right side where it says recent transactions, let's say at one point I had 3,437 Redcoin. Now that's kind of a small amount compared to how many I obviously have on the exchange. Because it's a smaller amount, my wallet is considered not as significant, right, to get the payout to. Therefore, the payout will happen less frequently than, say, someone who has 100,000 or 1,000,000 or more Redcoin in their wallet. You'll know that your payout is getting close when you kind of hover over. You see this right here? It says staking.
Yes.
It says my average weight is 11, my total weight is 11, and then you have that long number. I don't know, it's over 1,000,000. So the staking weight of the entire network is that long number. And based on the amount of Redcoin I have in my wallet, which is 0.38 something, I can expect my next payout to be, well, that's going to be a couple years, right? Because that's like, they reward you, they measure it in days. So that's 341,969 days. Obviously, that's several lifetimes from now. But the more Redcoin I add to this wallet, this gets refreshed and updated. So because I don't even have 1 Redcoin here, I probably won't be rewarded anytime in the next lifetime. So yeah.
How for people who do stake, how soon could they expect some type of payout?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, do you know?
I'm sure. Well, I don't want to assume, but I think there's an equation that you could probably use to figure it out. I don't know if Redcoin has that. I don't know if Redcoin has like an official mechanism to determine, hey, if I have this much, when is my next anticipated payout?
Okay.
But I know that once you deposit it here, it gets recognized within the Redcoin blockchain, and then it'll tell you, like, oh, you've got 10,000, you can expect a payout. This will go from 341,957 days to, let's just say, a third of that, right? So the more you add, the more weight your wallet bears, and the more recognition your wallet will have within the Redcoin ecosystem.
Okay.
As a result of that, they'll say, hey, you can expect a payout in a week or 6.5 days. Like, it'll tell you down to the hour.
Oh, wow.
So obviously, since I don't have a lot on here, it's not significant to the network, and hence my payout won't be for, however many years that is.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Nice. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. In the presentation, you had a URL called stakingrewards.com.
Yes.
Okay, because I see an advanced calculator in there, and on the drop-down menu there is a Redcoin. So you guys can play around with some numbers there.
Well, that's good to know. That's on the Redcoin website? Or where did you say that was?
Stakingrewards.com.
Stakingrewards.com. Oh, that's new to me. Let's see. I'm just gonna go there. Okay. Oh, I see.
It's like a tab for advanced calculator or something.
Oh, okay, here we go. Nice. So this is measured in dollars or Redcoin. So how do you want to measure it?
This is dollars.
Yeah, let's do dollars. So
Okay,
it's
so
not bad, but 28% on $1,000 bucks.
It's not bad.
okay, so yeah. So I mean, just imagine if I had just kept my stuff in the wallet from, let's just say 4 or 5 years ago. That's a lot.
Yeah. No, this is good. I like it. Thanks a lot, Jamal. This is good info. Yeah, especially now that I'm thinking of doing a lot of staking in 2022. So.
Right, you would have earned $284.84 annually. That would have been almost a $500,000 Redcoin. It's a lot that you don't have to pay for, that the system is rewarding you with.
Yeah, and if they go close
Just for
to
holding
$1,
it in their wallet.
if they go to $1, that's $500,000. Okay.
Yeah, good stuff. All right.
Hey, who wants $500,000 for free?
This guy.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay, so with all right.
Okay.
All right, so thank you very much, Jamal.
Thank you for your time.
Let's say a blessing for Jamal, everyone. Lord Jesus, we thank you for Jamal. Bless him so much, Lord, for sharing with the community some of this prophetic information, the staking information, the how-tos, and the importance of some of these things. I pray that you would just bless him financially, bless him spiritually, bless him in his health, take good care of him for all that he's doing for the community, for just being a resource of knowledge and blessing and character. Lord, I pray that you use him in a powerful way in the communities that you call him to, and the seasons when you call him to them. If the seasons are now, Lord, let him do well, Lord, with all he puts his hand to, whether it's through YouTube or the crypto or as a teacher, Lord, whatever the things that you are leading him and guiding him, be with him every step of the way. And give him all the support, Father. And as the Bible says, when you will be lifted up, you will draw all men unto you. So, Lord, draw all men unto to Jamal, all mankind, both men and women, as he always puts you first and he recognizes you in every step he takes. May he always be prayerful about all the steps he takes and just continue to be with him. Check his spirit always when he's walking with you, Father, that you will keep his feet from stumbling and that you always keep him successful. We love you, Lord. We thank you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Jamal. You have a great evening, sir. All right, and we'll see you sometime this week during the DAP classes. Thank you. We should have more.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, Superfood. We're gonna have a great conversation about gold in our next interviews. Most likely, we're gonna, because we love to talk about precious metals and stuff. And maybe you'll get to be there for us, Superfood. Yeah, we always have some good stuff.
Can we throw some platinum and palladium in there? Because it's pretty rare to find right now. Okay.
Yes, we can.
Thank you.
Bye, guys. Bye, everybody. Good night. See you.